Ismael Valenzuela of BlackBerry, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. How are Zero Trust and the Cybersecurity Maturity Model certification going to help the Defense Department really lock things down security-wise?
Well, Zero Trust is such an important framework, philosophy, I would say strategy for every organization, not just to adopt in the future, but to adopt it like right now, based on the threats that we have been seeing for the last years. At the core of Zero Trust is the ability to defend not just based on networks or based on even devices, but it's about the identity of the user. It's about behaviors. At BlackBerry, for example, we have spent many years working at defending where the data is, right? Trying to find out where the critical data is and defending it, whether it's mobile devices or smart cars or any type of smart device, from on-prem, cloud, to automotive and defense, aerospace. It's all about the data. So that's going to be paramount for the government to be able to do that, not just to prevent attacks, but also to monitor what's going on a particular access to the data, detect and react to this type of attacks as soon as possible.
What does that mean for what the department will need tools-wise within the context of Zero Trust and CMMC to be able to deliver the kind of the vision you just laid out?
That's a very good question. Sorry. That's a very good question. And it's obviously adopting a new framework requires sometimes new tools. But as DISA has acknowledged recently, it's also about how do we make the best use of the tools we have today to adapt to this new paradigm. The reality is that many of the tools we use today, they haven't been designed with Zero Trust in mind. So there is definitely a need for exploring different technologies that will help us to do this more data-centric or identity-centric approach. Mm-hmm. But it's also about integration, and it's also about reusing what we have today to address these threats with the idea that these threats can come from any place, not just external threats, but also in internal threats.
You mentioned the cloud, and that's driving pretty much all of these innovations that the department is working through right now. Among some of these cutting-edge technologies, AI, machine learning, 5G, as kind of a vehicle for all of these things and so on. What of those do you think will have the greatest potential to really make an impact on the department in the coming, say, 2 to 5 year period?
Well, there are many things that we're watching closely, and at BlackBerry, for example, we're focused on IoT, building intelligent security everywhere, and we've been doing that for a while. And I think that IoT is going to continue to expand. There's no question about that, and the increase of consumer devices, and as we add more capabilities and functionality to all of these devices, it's going to affect the threat model for governments too. We haven't seen anything like that yet, but as we build more of these capabilities into the devices that we carry with us every day, that we have at home, that we have, the companies will implement in their networks, and we add more capabilities to the wireless stack, there is the potential for bigger attack surface. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen anything like that yet, but I could envision in the future maybe attackers leveraging proximity to maybe use these devices to create like a type of a worm that could replicate like human viruses, right, mm-hmm. as we know, and then using this for denial of service attacks or even as another vector for supply chain. We've seen obviously plenty of that recently, and that's not going to stop coming anytime soon. In addition to that, the rise of quantum computing, even though it's something that we know the U.S. government is increasingly investigating, but this is going to affect also the threat landscape. And as we have more governments also investing in this, so I would say cyber defense is a matter of time. And it is today, right? Defenders, we were in a fight against time when it comes to finding threats and reacting to them. Quantum computer is just going to make it more difficult for those that will not keep up with the capabilities of the adversaries.
Is there a silver lining in that, cloud, though, from a defensive capability? Because we'll have quantum computing capabilities too, not just the bad guys.
Yes, I mean, that doesn't change the nature of the game that we have today, right? It's essentially the same. It's just a matter of keeping up with that. But obviously, as this amount of capabilities increase, the nature of the attacks could also change a little bit, because there are certain things that we cannot do today. But it's essentially the same thing we've always seen, right? It's about keeping up with the attacker's ability to pull off these attacks.
Ismael Valenzuela of BlackBerry, it's great to talk to you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.